So right now we're at Chatham Manor, which is a colonial era plantation house and basically deals with about 200 years of American history. So it was built on the eve of the American Revolution as part of a plantation complex. The original owners, William and Ann Fitzhugh, built this house overlooking Fredericksburg, basically as a place where they could not only grow crops, have a kind of financial operation, but also socialize. So they were in their late 20s. They were looking for a place that would have a lot of foot traffic where they could socialize with their friends, and that's why they chose this location. But Chatham has always been a working farm from its beginnings as a 1,200-acre plantation all the way up until the present day, where we actually contract out to farmers to grow some crops. So of course, it's changed extensively in the time since then. So Chatham started out, again, 1,200-acre plantation with a force of slave labor with about 40 to 100 slaves at any given time. So major operation, especially for this area, Fredericksburg and Stafford County. It continued as a plantation running on slave labor up until the Civil War. And at that point, Chatham was effectively abandoned by its owners. And when the Union Army came into this area for the first time in the spring of 1862, the vast majority of Chatham's slaves who weren't sent somewhere else by the owners fled towards the lines of the Union Army. So that effectively ended Chatham kind of as a plantation run on slave labor. For the kind of period of the Civil War, Chatham became primarily used not as a residence, but as a field hospital and a headquarters for the Union Army. But then after the Civil War, it once again became a residence. And this kind of represents a transition from what we refer to as the Old South to the New South. So different type of form of labor, different kind of function as a house like this. In the period after the Civil War up until the 1920s, Chatham's land was steadily sold off until around the turn of the 20th century. It had shrunk from, again, that beginning phase of a 1,200-acre plantation to a 30-acre farm. So it became in the 1920s and on kind of not necessarily a farm as its main purpose, but instead a refuge for the extremely wealthy who happened to have a small farm on the side. So it changed very dramatically in the type of function it had. So Chatham really represents a lot of changes in American society, especially for the South, and how the Civil War is really the nexus point around which all that pivots. So. And as part of Fredericksburg and Spotsylvania National Military Park, which Chatham's inclusion in that is because of its Civil War history. Fredericksburg and Spotsylvania, we encompass 4 Civil War era battlefields, over nearly 8,000 acres of land, and we're actually the second largest military park in the country. So.